going to come into now mountain pose and start working on all of your alignments. The feet, right, grounded, four corners of the feet, hips over heels, shoulders over hips, ears over shoulders, arms by your side, palms front. So feel how mountain pose is for you this morning. Just start to bring your breath into your practice. All right, and we're going to work on some elongating as we deepen the breath here, okay? So as you breathe out, feel your belly button go to your spine, and as you take a nice deep breath in, feel your feet press down and the crown of your head rise. Elongate, yeah. And exhale, soften, but try and keep that length. And now do it again, see if you can get even a little longer. Good, and release. All right, we're gonna let the feet come wider than hip width distance, let the knees and hips bend here, and start to move shoulders, knees, and hips. Okay, get those legs a little warm, get those arms a little warmed up here. Inhale and exhale. And then reach all the way up and exhale, bring your hands down and shake it out. Okay, so we're going to start to move the spine side to side here, and we will get to the cats and cows from hands and knees. Okay, so you can leave your feet comfortably slightly wider than the hips, and take your arms up. Take your right wrist in your left hand. Try and keep the shoulders away from the ears. Remember, we were grounding through the feet. Keep them grounded and tilt to the left. So with your left hand on your right wrist, it helps extend that right side a little bit, and then come switch right hand to left wrist. And remember, we want to get the stretch from, as we go back to the left, the rib coming away from the hip bone, not the shoulders coming to the ears. And let's go back over to the right. Yeah. Ooh, wake up that side body, and to the left. And back over to the right. And this time when we go over to the left, let's stay here, extend both arms, press those left fingertips away, and take the right shoulder back so the heart shines up toward the sky. And come center and switch. Extend right fingertips away, left shoulder back. Come center, inhale, and we're going to go down and up. Just release. Think about the shoulders here, the hips, the knees. Really giving the body a good warm up this morning. Okay, and let's come back to standing here. So we are going to do some tapping for our twisting. So we're going to take the legs wider than hip width distance, let the knees be soft, and as we twist, we will let the hands knock on the door of life. So right behind you here, right where the kidneys are, knocking on the door of life. Okay, and don't try and keep your lower body stiff. Just let everything start to move here, and then let the hands start to come out. Yeah, going shoulder height, and then we get to our immunity tapping. With a gentle fist, the hand lands right under the collarbone. Gentle fist, hand lands right under the collarbone. That's a nice, important immunity center that we're waking up there. And then we're going to let the hands come back out and up. and taking them down. Coming back to that immunity spot, just giving that a little bit of encouragement there. And arms out. And then coming back to knocking on the door of life side to side here. And eventually coming to rest at center, and bring your feet back to hip width distance apart. Find mountain pose here, right? Line everything up. Inhale and exhale. All right, shake everything out. And we're going to work our way down to tabletop. So come to the top of your mat here with the feet hip width distance apart. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Okay, we're going to take a half lift, hips down, hands down, and step back to down dog. And then we'll go ahead and pedal the feet from down dog. Check your alignment. Make sure the spine is extending, everything's nice and long. Remember, you could be at a table, hands on the wall, right? A chair. All right, let's come back to center here and bring the knees down. Try and get them to the mat at the same time. All right, everybody good here? Any wrist issues? Are we good? Okay, all right. So we're going to work on cats and cows from here. The wrists are either right under the shoulders, or you might walk your hands a few inches forward to take some of that angle out of the wrist. And the knees are right under the hips. We're arching the back, shine the heart forward. And then round the spine, gaze towards your thighs. Arch your back. And as you come into this rounded cat, think about lifting your belly button away from the earth. Yeah, and then we go back and back into cat. Now we're going to add a little more work to this. Come to neutral spine, tuck your toes. Round and arch your back into the cow, and then as you come into your cat, lift your knees 2 inches off the mat. Bring the knees down, point the toes behind. Cow, tuck the toes, cat with the knees lifted. Bring it down, arch into cow, and round into cat, knees lifted. We're going to hold here and bring it down. And then the next option is come into down dog. So as you lift your knees, press all the way back, down dog. As you bring your knees down, mindfully bring them to the mat at the same time. This will be 2 more. Cow here, lift into down dog. Knees mindfully down. 1 more time, cow. And as you come into your cat, lift into downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Let's go ahead and carefully bring the knees down, sit off to the side, find seated mountain pose. Shake out those wrists, open and close the fingers. Inhale and exhale. All right, so we're going to do a bit of forward folding. It's not really forward folding, it's forward leaning. Okay, take your legs long. Okay, so we're in our seated mountain pose. Inhale and exhale. Flex your feet, take your arms out to the side. And then lean back, engage your core, bring the heels of your hands together. Interlace your fingers with your index fingers pointing forward, and reach past your toes. So remember, we're not really folding, we're reaching past the toes. Let the feet flex forward here, and then come up. All right, it's early, I'm not explaining this very well, but here we go. Arms out. Reach back, heels of the hands together, interlace the fingers, index fingers point forward, and reach past the toes. So the feet are going to continue to point and flex. That's the word I was missing. Bring the arms out and lean back, heels of the hands together, then interlace the fingers and reach past the toes and arms up and release. All right, I'm going to face you this time. Is this making sense? We got this? Let's take a little V-sit here. Not wide. I mean, we haven't done anything to the much to the legs yet, so just a little V-sit, arms out, same pattern here. Lean back, heels of the hands together, interlace, and then reach past the toes as the feet point. And then arms up, and take it out. Lean back, your feet are flexed, your hands come together, reach with the index fingers, past the toes, and arms up. And take the arms out, lean back, feet are flexed, reach forward, feet are pointed, arms overhead, and release. And shake it out. All right. We'll end that one here and move into some core. Yay! So I hear that we're going to get a lot of rain. So maybe we should do something. Nicole's like, what? Not boat? Yes, I think so. All right, let's do some variations on boat here. So take your feet hip-width distance apart. Arms are forward. We're just going to leave the feet down and take it back, and then bring the arms up by the ears, both arms forward and up. There's a lot of work going on there, right there, isn't it? Let's do that again. Take it back, arms up by the ears, arms forward and up. Now we'll do high boat to low boat on the right. Right knee is bent, arms are forward, and we take it back. This time extend the right leg. The heel is 2 or 3 inches off the mat, shoulders 2 or 3 inches off the mat, and come back to high boat. Everybody good with that one? Let's try it on the left. Left knee and low boat. Remember, we want the heel a couple of inches, shoulders a couple of inches, spine long, chin is not tucked. Take it up and release. Okay. So we're going to go 4 times on the right, 4 times on the left. Arms forward, right knee. Let's take it down on the right and back up. Okay, if you prefer the straight leg version, change to that here. Take it down and up. If you want to keep bending and straightening the leg, that's fine too. Low boat, high boat. And what usually happens in low boat number 4, we come and stay here. Option, arms overhead, canoe, hands down by your side, and come on back up and release. Woo! Shake it out. All right, let's try that with the left side, okay? All right, so take a breath, arms forward, left knee up. Remember, you could go straight leg if you want. You could also keep both feet down if anything's bothering you, like your back. Okay, let's go low boat to high, low boat to high, low boat, to high, and low boat, hold, arms overhead, bring the arms back down and up. That was canoe and release. Shake it out, inhale and exhale. All right, we're going to do a couple of static boats and then we're going to just move on, okay? So let's go ahead and lean back. Both feet are on the mat and hold on to your hamstrings here and just take your right leg up. Now release your right arm, release your left arm. Ooh, static half boat. A lot of work here, even though we're not moving. Okay, let's take it up. Hold on to your hamstrings, lean back, okay? And we're going to take the left leg up. Let go with the left arm, let go with the right arm. Good, and release. Anybody want to try that with 2 legs? Let's do it, okay? Let's lean back, hold the hamstrings, right leg, left leg. Woo! Try releasing one arm and then the other. Yes, 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 and release. Woo! All right, shake it out. That was a way more traditional boat. Anybody feel that? Feel good? All right, so let's do some nice hip opening now. Okay, and I think we'll go ahead and do some rock the baby so we can add on to our twisting too. Take both legs straight. Okay, the feet are flexed, toes are pointing straight up, knees are pointing straight up. Take your right leg in, hold on to your right foot with your left hand, your right hamstring with your right hand, and we're taking the legs side to side. So in rock the baby, this is our move, this is our position. For some people, it feels better to them, they get a better stretch by taking that shin closer to the body, putting a foot in an elbow. It's kind of early for that, but your body might be willing to do that. This is a great one too. All we want to do is open the hip. Okay, let's take that right ankle across the left thigh. Support yourself with your hands here and bring that left foot in. Your right foot is flexed. The left foot's only in as far as it needs to go to touch the mat. And then we're going to take the right foot over to the left and the right leg back to the right. All the while keeping the torso nice and steady here. So we're not doing this side to side. Although that does feel good in its own right, it's not what we're doing here. And the next time your right foot is over to the left, stay here. Now do a cheek check, right? If this cheek is lifted, see if you can set it down. If not, move your foot in front of your shin. That's what it's called. Okay, left hand to the right, to the outside of the right leg. Right arm up and back. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, without tugging, just allow your twist to deepen a bit as you turn your gaze to your right shoulder. Now some people might want to bring the right elbow outside the left knee if that's you, and you can do it with a straight spine. We're sitting up here. We don't do this. We don't lean back to twist. We sit up. And now inhale, and as you exhale, turn your gaze to the left shoulder. And then on your next exhale, turn your gaze back to the right. Release, unwind, take your legs forward and give them a nice little shake. Whew. All right, let's come into a nice extended seated mountain pose. So extending the spine, and let's use the arms to help that. So take your hands out to the side, gather energy as you inhale. And then as you exhale, turn your palms out and lengthen your spine so your hips are in really good contact with the mat and the spine is getting longer as your arms come down. Now go ahead and bend your left knee. That right leg is straight, toes are pointing up, knee is up, and we rock the baby on the left. Okay, so taking a variation if that feels like you want to do it. Otherwise, it's more important to keep the torso steady. Okay, so you want to make sure you're doing that. All right, let's go ahead and take this left ankle above the right thigh. Support yourself with your hands and just bring that right leg in till the foot is in contact with the mat. And we go side to side. And then take the left foot all the way over to the right, sit up, do your cheek check, right? Move the foot if it's better for grounding the hips. Take the right hand outside the left leg, left arm up and back. Length through the spine and twist. Without tugging, let the twist come from your torso. Good. All right, now turn your gaze towards your left shoulder, and if you are wanting to do this, Take your right elbow outside your left thigh, or by the left knee, or just stay here. All right, on your next exhale, turn your gaze to the right. And then as you exhale again, turn your gaze back to the left. And release, unwind, shake everything out. Inhale and exhale. All right, now that the legs have a little more flexibility, we're going to do one more position for that forward fold that we were doing earlier. Well, forward lean. I'll try not to call it a fold because that's confusing. All right, so we're going to come into cobbler's pose. Cobbler's pose traditionally is done with the feet, the soles of the feet touching, right? But you can always take them 6 inches apart and do garland pose instead. So take your soles of your feet to touch. Right now the heels are probably pretty far away from the pelvis. And then start to draw your heels in until you feel just a little bit of a stretch in the inner thighs here without the knees doing this. So the knees are important here. We don't want the knees to be up like this. So we want either a longer diamond or a shorter diamond, or even feet hip. Everybody good? We're going to be here, so make sure you're comfortable. Okay? Yeah. All right. Let's inhale the arms out to the side. And then exhale as you draw back, the heels of the hands touch, fingers interlace, and reach past your toes, index fingers forward. And then bring the arms up. Inhale. Arms down. Take it back. Interlace. Index fingers past the toes. Arms up and out. And one more time. Take it back. Interlace. Reach. Arms up. And release. All right, now put one hand under each knee, help your knees up, and let your knees kind of wiggle out to the side and back. Okay, let's come to hands and knees. Remember, make sure your knees are happy here, padding, whatever, and we'll work the arms. So let's take the arms long forward, come into knee up or knee down plank, and we're going to do a nice slow push-up, focusing on getting the elbows back. Slow. And just as slowly come up and take your hips towards your heels. Let's come forward, knee down plank. You could do knee up if you prefer. Slow push up. Take it down. Just as slow up and back. All right, so you can feel how much work there is in going slow. Let's see it when we take it like more like one breath per movement, what happens. Come forward, down, up, back. Feel a difference there? Let's do that one more time. Take it forward, down, up, back. All right, and now come into child's pose. So I just wanted you to feel the benefit of slowing down. And be comfortable in your child's pose, right? Forehead is supported. Let's find our way to downward facing dog here. All right. Inhale and exhale. And then as you start walking your feet forward, take them wider so they wind up the width of the mat. Okay? When you get your feet to your hands, bring your forearms to your thighs here and bring your hands to your heart. Press through those feet. Use the feet to straighten the legs. Bring the arms overhead. Oh, fingertips all the way up and step to a mountain pose. Inhale and exhale. So let's see how everything's feeling now as you breathe. All right. So we have everybody here has a lot of experience. We're going to work on our high crescent lunge, and we're going to incorporate that into our sun salutation. So let's come to the top of the mat here. Remember, this is a balanced pose. High crescent lunge challenges your balance. So we're going to make sure the feet are grounded here. All four corners of the feet. The mind is calm. Inhaling and exhaling. And you can, you can start thinking about drishti. Now your drishti may have to change from one point to another, but always when you're balancing, come back to a steady gaze point, okay? All right, so let's go ahead, hands to hips, and step long back with the right leg here, and the right heel stays lifted. The left knee bends over the left ankle, all right? So magnetize your inner thighs toward each other. It's an isometric pressing in that helps really bring a lot of energy to this pose. Couple of things. If you start to feel too wobbly, you can turn your right foot all the way down to the earth here. That works, okay? All right, so that was one thing. And when we're doing this in sun salutation, you can also just bring your knee down. All right, let's take the arms long. Spine is long. One long line. Arms are by the ears. Now start to lift up. Notice what's happening in your back. The spine is staying long. And come up until your arms are either vertical or until your back starts to sag. If your back starts to sag from here, just stay here. Does that make sense? So this is the high crescent lunge. And then step forward, release the arms. All right, everybody good with that? We're doing that on the left? Okay, so we're starting out mountain pose, taking a big step back with the left foot. Right knee is over the ankle. You're facing forward. Arms come long. There's one long diagonal from your heel to the tips of your fingers. And then you start to come up, mindful of where the spine is losing. If it does lose its length, then we stop there or just go until your arms are up. Find your gaze point. Remember those thighs are magnetizing toward each other, and step forward and shake it out. All right, any questions about that? Okay, when we do it in sun salutation, it's a little trickier because we're not starting up, we're starting from down. Okay, you guys have all done this, so you know what we mean by that. Okay, let's do that one more time. Step back, right heel up, left knee, smoothly bring the arms up and rise up. Inhale and exhale. And step forward and left leg back. If you decide that this is not your day to do high crescent lunge, then don't. Bring your back foot down, do warrior one instead. Good, and bring it up. Shake it out. All right, so we're going to start with low crescent lunge. So make sure your knees are going to be happy when we do low crescent lunge. Let's come to the top of the mat and do a nice little sun salutation. So the feet are hip-width distance apart. Find your equal standing. Think about lining everything up here. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, swan dive over those hip creases. Spine is long. Bring your hands to your thighs, hips back, shine your heart forward, half lift. Sink the hips down, hands down, and take a big step back with the right leg coming into the lunge. Okay, so we're going to stay here in the lunge, move around. All right, now we'll bring the right knee down, moving into crescent lunge. The knee is behind the hip, left knee over the left ankle. The same thing with this. The arms are long by the ears, and then as you lift up, you're mindful of not dumping into your spine. Okay, we don't want to dump into the lower back. Good. Bring the hands down and come into your plank. You might be doing a knee down plank right now. You might be doing knee up. You might stand at the wall for a plank. Once you get into your plank, chaturanga, take it all the way down. Okay, let's do some cobra on ridge tops. So your hands are by your shoulders. They come about a foot out from the shoulders, 6 inches to a foot. Your fingertips are pressing into the mat now. Shoulders toward the ears, down the spine. And we lift. It's like a little spider thing here. Don't throw your head back, just look forward. Woo! And release. All right, let's bring the hands under the shoulders and lift to down dog. Okay, so there's ways to get to down dog. Table to dog is great. Lift halfway, press your arms long, lift the rest of the way. That's another way. Inhale and exhale. All right, so from here in your down dog, we're going to take the right leg up, three-legged dog. And then step the right foot forward, bring the left knee down, and arrange yourself for a low crescent lunge with the left knee behind the hip, right knee over the ankle. Long spine, bring it up. Even this is a little bit of balance here, so we're going to fix the gaze, right? All right, bring your hands down. Raise your, tuck your toes and raise your back knee. Engage all the muscles of your body. Super strong. You might not even need your hands. Step forward, half lift, forward fold. Now think about those feet being super grounded. The arms just float up, float. Palms touch. And hands come to heart center. And release. Okay, so we are going to incorporate the high crescent lunge. Remember, if it starts feeling wobbly, you can bring your foot down, or if you don't, if you want to just bring your knee down and do the low crescent lunge, feel free to do that. Everybody good? We pay attention to what our body tells us. So let's go ahead, feet are hip width distance apart. Line everything up. Start out in a nice aligned, strong mountain pose. Inhale, flip the arms up. Exhale, swan dive. So we're over straight legs. It's not how far down the hands come. It's hips over ankles, straight legs. And let's bring the hands to the thighs, shine the heart forward. Set the hips down. We'll start on the left this time, left leg back. And well, let's start out in the lunge. Yeah, let's not skip our lunge, just move around here. And then if you're coming into high crescent lunge, leave that knee lifted. Remember to magnetize the thighs toward each other. If you prefer to bring your knee down, bring it down. And start lifting the arms. You see how this challenges you differently than just stepping back into high crescent lunge. So you need to be really careful here. And then bring the hands down and step back to your plank. If it's knee down plank, it's knee down plank. If it's knee up, it's knee up. And then chaturanga. Nice strong chaturanga. We're coming back to cobra on ridge tops. So let's go ahead and take the hands out. Fingertips point down. And shine the heart forward. without throwing the head back. Good. And release. We're going to do one more thing with this cobra on ridge tops. We're going to lift up and now take the right shoulder toward the left. So it's a little twisting added to that. A nice opening for the front of the shoulder. Don't go past the point where your shoulder feels good. And release. Come on up and left shoulder over to the right. And bring it center, release, and find your way to down dog. Inhale and exhale. We have one more crescent lunge, high or low, your choice. If you did high on the first side, does not mean you have to do it on this side. We're taking the left leg up, step forward. Okay, and then arrange yourself so that your left knee is over your left ankle. Your core is engaged. Right knee is up or down. Thighs are magnetizing toward each other. And lift. See how your gaze is moving too? But then we need to come back to a steady point. Yeah. Good. And let's bring the hands down. Take a big step forward. Take a half lift, forward fold, and once again, feet are super grounded, upper body super light, palms touch, and hands come heart center. Woo. All right, let's shake it out. So you might have noticed when we were playing with the boat that we didn't do any oblique work, did we? So let's get that done now. Yay, who's glad? All of us. Take your legs wider than hip width distance. Okay, and just play with bending and straightening the knees. All right, so we're going to take the hands behind the head. Here is fine too, whatever's more comfortable to you. And bend the knees and take it over to the right and up. Now take it to the right, extend the arms, hands back and up. Take it up. Knees bend, take it to the left and up. Take it to the left, arms extend, hands back and up. Straighten. Okay, so let's just continue like that. Take it down to the right and up, to the right, extend, hands back, center, legs extend. Take it down, elbows to the left, long arms to the left. Bring it in, legs up. Take it down to the right, up, to the right, extend, bring it in, center, up, take it down to the left, up, to the left, extend, in, center, and up. Ooh. Shake it out for a second. We're going to do that. We're going to stay on the right. We're going to open and close 4 times. Okay? So let's take it down. The legs are going to stay in this position. Elbows, arms. Elbows, arms. Elbows, extend. Elbows, extend. Now let's try and come up with extended arms. Woo. All right. Take it down. Hands behind the head. Elbows, extend, elbows, extend, elbows, extend, elbows, extend. Take it up, long arms, draw the arms up, overhead, and step together, shake it out. Whew. Inhale and exhale. All right, so we did a lot of balance in our high crescent lunge, and we're going to take that just a step further. We're going to stay with the high crescent lunge and take it into a knee pull through. Okay, so let's go ahead and find yourself back at the top of the mat, feet hip width distance apart, hands to the hips, step back with your right leg, okay, We're setting up for the high crescent lunge again, arms overhead. And this time, we're going to start drawing that back leg in as the knee lifts. Good, and then release down. Does that work okay? We're going to try that on the left. All right, feet are hip width distance apart. Let me know if you need anything else. Left heel is lifted. Remember, we're keeping the spine long and extended. And then we start to draw that back leg in, lift the knee, and release. All right, let's do that one more time on each side. Take it back, maybe even if you're already there, okay, so come to the top of your mat. Let's see if we can just flow. We've done it several times. Just flow into your low crescent lunge right leg instead of breaking it up in pieces. And let's just flow that knee through and release. Flow the left leg back into the high crescent lunge. Flow the left knee through. And bring the arms down. I hope you weren't watching me. I hope you had your eyes on your steady gaze point. Because if you were watching me, you probably fell over. All right, shake it out. Whew. Inhale and exhale. All right, let's do a little loosening up here. So we're going to take the legs wider than hip width distance. And we're just going to go back to gently bending and straightening. We'll do a nice little sunburst just in case we can chase the rain away. So knees bend, arms cross in front, sunburst open, whew, sunburst, sunburst, sunburst. Yeah, just keep going. Think release, release, release. And do one or two more, and bring it in. Ooh, shake it out. You guys have been working hard. Let's move around a little bit, make sure everything feels loose and relaxed, or maybe not quite relaxed, but like it did some good work, right? And then look around your space, see if you want anything. I know everybody has a block, so let's do legs up the wall with a block. So just have your block nearby. We'll get to this, and we'll do a supported back bend as well. Okay, so let's go ahead, and when you feel you have your block and anything else you want, when you feel ready, come to the top of your mat, find mountain pose. Observe the energy moving through you. Come back to yourself. And let's make our way down. Float the arms up, inhale. Exhale, swan dive over straight legs from the hip creases. Take a moment to enjoy. We haven't done that much forward folding, so let's take a moment to enjoy this here. And then bring your hands to your knees. Take a final half lift. Sink the hips down. Bring the hands to the mat. Step back to down dog unless you've had it with down dog and you want to go to table. Inhale and exhale. And you're going to move your hips. If your knees are up, you can move your knees too. Just wiggle around a little bit. And come back to center. And mindfully bring the knees down. Try and get them to the mat at the same time. Sit off to the side. And take your legs into seated mountain pose. Inhale and exhale. All right, we're just going to release the spine a bit with a couple of soft forward folds. Just float the arms up. They don't have to go high. And just melt forward. arms gently up and melt. And roll your hands up, bring your feet hip-width distance apart, and slowly roll down. Okay, so we've got the feet hip-width distance apart, and take your block on its lowest edge, lift your hips, and slide it under, supported back bend here. Now notice what the legs are doing. We don't want the knees flopping out. We want the knees to stay hip-width distance apart, hands by your side. Supported bridge. And you might just stay here. If you feel like you have a little more space, you might turn your block up to the second side. And if you do that and your back says, no, thank you, then turn it back. If you're on the block and you're not even happy there, just take the block out. A little supported back bend here. And if you're on the second side, roll it back to the first. Okay, so from here, we're going to just take the right leg up with the knee bent. See how that feels. Now these inversions where your hips are higher than your heart is higher than your head, you need to pay attention and see if there's too much blood flowing to your head, then come off the block or don't, don't lift your legs. Okay, so here we go. We got the right foot down. We're taking the left knee up. Really paying attention to what's going on. All right, and bring it down. And if you feel it's right for you, take both knees up. And if you still feel like it's okay for you, take your legs straight up. This is the traditional legs up the wall, Viparita Karani. And breathe. So now we've got the blood flowing. Well, it's going to flow the way it flows, but you can think of it kind of, anti-gravity here. And try and get your breath to flow up through your legs all the way to your feet. And then go ahead, bend the knees, bring both feet down. Carefully lift off your block and place your spine back on the mat. No other movement here. The spine is in neutral. We're just going to open and close the fingers while we let the spine rest. And rotate the wrists one direction and the other. Now we're going to move into a spinal clearing move. So draw your right knee in toward your chest. Clasp your hands around your right hamstring and take your right leg straight up. Press into your hands in the spinal clearing. Okay, now release the tension just a little bit. And press again. So there's tension, release, release, and bring the right foot down. Bring the left knee into your chest, hold on to your hamstring, okay, and then take the left leg straight up. And press that left thigh into your hands. Remember, we're not drawing the leg back toward the face, we're pressing the leg away into the hands, clearing the spine. And then release the tension and press again. And release, bring the left foot down with the feet hip-width distance. Now we can let the knees gently open and close. Little butterfly wings here. Okay. And we're going to extend both arms and both legs nice and long and bring just the right knee in. That left leg, if it wants to bend, it can. We're coming into half happy baby here. So hold on to your right foot, your right shoulder's heading towards your armpit. Half happy baby. Let that left foot be natural. Okay? If it extends, it extends. If it bends, it bends. Okay, release that. Extend both arms and both legs. And bring the left knee in. Take this to half happy baby. All right, release, extend 2 arms, 2 legs, and bring both knees in, hug in here, and come into happy baby. And then if you want to rock around, massage the spine. And come back to center, release the hands, but keep the feet up, and we're going to point and flex. Circle the ankles, one direction and the other. All right, let's bring it down and let those knees gently open and close a few more times here. Inhaling and exhaling. All right, so we're going to do some wide leg windshield wipers. Take your feet as wide as the mat, arms long out to the side, and keep the knees gentle right now. Let's give the spine a chance to communicate how far it wants the knees to go. So sway your knees to the right, turn your gaze to the left, bring everything center, sway your knees to the left, bring your gaze to the right, and come center and sway. Now pay attention to what your spine is telling you as you move into bringing the knees side to side, so move into twisting. If the spine is saying, look, that's just not right, then don't do it, okay? If your spine is saying, yeah, I'm willing, you could bring your knees a little farther down, then do that. And we started with the knees right, gaze left. So the next time the knees go left and the gaze goes right, come back up to center, okay? And bring your feet back in and just start to scan your body. See if there's any movements that your body is wanting to or needing to make right now. Any kind of realignment that's being called for. Okay. Releasing any last minute things, and we're coming into our final relaxation position for today. All right, so when you are feeling comfortable and settled, inhale through the nose. And slowly exhale through the mouth. And let's do that one more time. Inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, just let your body melt onto the earth. Know that the earth is there for you. It supports you. Your work is done for now. And just move into your final relaxation. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your space. Invite a deeper breath. Gently bring movement back to your body. And as you're ready, extend long, inhale. Exhale, draw your knees in. Give yourself a hug. Find your way over to a side. And as you're ready, back up to a nice, easy seat. As you turn your gaze to your own good heart and your bright spirit, thank and honor yourself for your practice, and we thank and honor each other for sharing this time. Namaste.